Is the share screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this session of ICT technologies in education or higher education specifically. Basically, today's session I am going to conduct on the future ICT technologies in higher education. Now, ICT is a buzzword we are listening from more than 10 years, and we have started working into the space of ICT from more or less 10 years. But what should be the future of ICT technology in the higher education? The to analyze the different things, our lecture does the technological details, but it will give you the brief overview idea of the technology is being applied. Start with the basic things. Now, the current trends in the ICT in higher education. Basically, as we know, the right now what we are considering the higher education hotcakes in the market or the paradigm is the online learning platforms. For example, let's take the book courses. Now the SWAYAM courses, NPTEL courses, and there are so many others like OCW, Coursera, Berkeley, Stanford Online, and so many other international institutes are also offering the courses. Parallelly, there are some private players also come into the market and offering their own online MOOC courses, Udemy, or you can say the Unacademy. There are some private players also offering some courses, the MOOC courses onto the online platforms. The next the higher education trend in the market is the artificial intelligence and the machine learning. So the integration of the AI-based tools and the machine learning has become again one of the important paradigm of the current days education system. We will touch it briefly in the next few slides. Then cloud computing is again becoming a very popular and common things. I hope that everybody out of you are using Google Drives and the Azure share file utilities. These are nothing but you are using the cloud computing for the educational purpose. Mobile learning, there are so many apps available in the market, which are the free apps or the paid apps. Few apps are being developed by the organization, institute, your own institute, or you may have also been developed some sort of mobile application to address the students. So the final important parameter is the augmented reality and the virtual reality in the classroom. Now, augmented reality and virtual reality are
Sorry to
become
interrupt you, sir. Sir, your slides are not visible, sir. Only blank screen is visible, sir.
slides are not visible.
Yes, sir.
I will again reshare. Stop
Yes, sir. Now
sharing.
it is visible, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. I don't know. After some time, possibly it may lose the uh, connectivity or something. But let's. I request participants if they miss the slides or there is any blank screen in between, please echo me back so that I can again refresh or re-trigger it so that they can visualize it. Okay, we were talking about the augmented reality and virtual reality. Basically, augmented reality is like the you people may have come across the Oculus goggle or something, which is basically a gaming solution available. These days, people are developing the educational games and which you can virtually participate into the game. Similarly, education game is a game wherein you can learn virtually using such kind of devices. And we are expecting that this is going to be widely used into the classroom so that student will feel more entertaining What it is called nowadays is the edutainment. So education and entertainment together. Now the AI in the machine learning, AI and machine learning in the education. Now the personalized learning is one of the application which is more utilized or the more important output of this artificial intelligence technology. We know very well there are a number of students available in the classroom, and every student has got their different pace of learning. Some students are sharp enough to understand the things immediately, whereas few people take some time to understand what we are saying. The reason maybe there is a language issue, or the grasping level are different, or the backgrounds are different, or the homework is not available with the student. Now AI has got the capability to understand the adaptive space or the learning ability of the student, and accordingly adjust the pace of dissemination of the content. So content, how fast it can be disseminated depends upon the ability of the student to adapt it or the learning. Now it is both way useful. It is useful for the slower student to have a slower space, whereas a sharper student to have a higher space. The reason is that if the student is sharp and we have got a very slow space of dissemination of the content, he get bored. So the AI works in both the spaces and make this dissemination speed adjustable with the ability of the student to accept the knowledge. AI tutorials and chatbots for the students are also a new paradigm. There are so many common questions. There are so many queries which are repetitively asked by the student. This job makes the teacher bored or hectic having the same thing again and again explained to the multiple people. So they can ask this question at different point in time to the machine, and AI will take care of it. It is something like you have got the chatbot available on the IRCTC railway reservation website. So you keep on asking the question, and the AI will keep on giving you the results. Then the automated grading system. So we have got nowadays accepted with the multiple choice question type of examination or the small quizzes, and the valuation or the grading of those particular things become a big time consuming or the laborious work for the teachers. Now this work can be automated and can be handed over to the AI. And AI not only validates whether the answer is ABC as per the standard answer matches or not match, but it also understands and find out how much time the student take to answer this question. Based on which also he gives him some bonus points or reduce the things and come up with the more genuine result than only validating the answers. Then predictive analysis of the student performance. This is also very important that when the students start learning a new topic, how he is understanding the topic should be understood by the system, and accordingly it will start predicting what should be the next thing given to the student. So this is also one of the very important utility which is going to be useful in the coming days. Few people who have introduced few of these tools, or many of these tools are Khan Academy, then the Coursera. These people have integrated these tools, and the results are reasonably good. The challenges in implementing the ICT into the higher education. This looks very nice and helping to the students as well as teachers and the all learning community. But what are the challenges in implementing this? The first challenge is the digital divide. India still have got a problem of the access issue in the rural and remote areas, the hilly areas. There is a problem with the internet connectivity. There is a problem with the availability of the smart gadgets. People doesn't have the affordability to have the money to put it into the hardware. Then the cost of the bandwidth is another issue. That is the who will pay for the bandwidth. What we call technically it as a pay-per-view. For viewing the things, we require a bandwidth, and bandwidth comes as cost. So these are the digital divide issues in India. Then the resistance to change to the traditional teaching methodologies. People are reluctant to get changed. They are comfortable with what they are with. And this is also another problem in implementing. For example, we are used to with reading the books on printed on the paper. But if I offer you the books in PDF form or EPUB form or Kindle form, then we always, I have seen that people say that, no, I am comfortable reading on paper rather than going on to the any paperless platform because I understand better on paper. This is very common and this is also acceptable because this is the nature of the human beings that there will be a resistance to change from traditional teaching methods to the new teaching pedagogy. Then data privacy and security will be a concern because once we go online, we are shared with each other the data, and then the data privacy becomes the issue and the security also becomes the issue. This is again one of the challenge that we have to address. And for doing all these things, the responsibility will go to the training the people. Now, whom we have to train is the faculty. The training or the upscaling of the faculty is another challenge in the coming days. Now, future of the ICT in the higher education. Now we will see the what are the different things, different areas where the future of the ICT lies. Now let's take communication. In the communication, 5G technology is going to impact at large on the online learning. The reason is that it is going to open a wide spectrum of the bandwidth available and the cost will also drop down hopefully. And because of the availability of more bandwidth space, we will be able to push more type of content and the utilities to the distance learners. And 5G is going to be another step ahead into the higher education future. Then in the hardwareal section, if we go to explore the thing, the IoT technology, that is the Internet of Things, are going to make your classroom more smarter. And this is going to have the more automation and more control, or rather we can say more remote control to interact with the student. Then the quantum computing is going to play a bigger role in computing the data which we are collecting and analyzing for the understanding how the students are understanding what we are teaching. Then data-driven learning analytics and the continuous improvement processes will be put into the software section. The new softwares will be more data-driven, analytical based, and they will give a better direction to the teachers to get the better understanding of what the learners are learning. The last and the most important thing, which comes actually into the space of the security and the credibility and the credential of the education system, is the blockchain technology. Our today's lecture will be focused basically on blockchain technology, and we will try to see what exactly is the blockchain technology, not on the technological prospect, but the utilization purview. And we'll see how exactly it can be implemented and how it can be useful for the teaching learning process. Now, blockchain technology basically is useful in proving three important issues, out of which the most important issue is that the credentials. The credentials meaning thereby, when you go to any institute for learning, the ultimate outcome of the learning process is the knowledge and the knowledge certification. Now, the certification credibility and authenticity and reliability is always a problem in the educational system. To address all these questions by using a single technology, blockchain technology is the one-stop solution. Who are doing this? How exactly it can be done? What are the experimentation done in the globe across that we are going to see? Now, let's see the blockchain technology. Now, the blockchain technology basically holds a great potential to transform higher education by improving security, efficiency, and transparency. Now, these are three different parameters, but very important. We want the security of the education system, security in the sense that there should not be any scam, fake degrees, fake result, the result manipulation, age manipulation, all such kind of things. The security of the data, I mean, and then the efficiency in the sense to reduce the time to do all such kind of activity and get your certification and data available everywhere, and that too with a transparent system. So there should not be any iron curtain in between, and it should be a transparent where from the data came, where from who has done the things, so that it will increase the trust and credibility of the education. The second important point is that the overcoming adoption challenges will require collaboration and investment from the stakeholder across the education sector. See, the important thing is that if we have to go for any kind of change into the technology, there are a lot of challenges, and one of the important challenges is that the collaboration and investment from the stakeholder, in the sense there should be companies who should invest to create the solutions, and then there should be a stakeholders, in the sense the educational institute. We should put in some amount of investment to adopt the solution. So all the stakeholders has to participate it into the activity. And the future of the blockchain in education is promising, offering more secure and innovative approach to learning and credentializing. So the learning process as well as the credentializing process is going to make a massive change across the globe, because we are moving into the space of the global education, not the local education. So the future of the blockchain in the education. Blockchain technology will revolutionize credentializing student records in the administration. So what happened basically, we may have seen, I don't know whether you come across the things or not, if your student goes to the higher education, after your higher education completion or your degree completion for the higher education or for the post-graduation or for PhDs in some other institute, the institute requires the documents to be get validated from the original institute. If the student goes abroad, then the US university or the UK European universities want the testimonial or the documents to be again revalidated by the parent institute. Now this process is very time consuming. The student has to bring the pro forma here, then go to particular institute, then search for the data. The administration is also under pressure to find out the old records, validate it. Then he has to find out some teacher who actually was teaching to him and get the endorsement from him. And this all is very time consuming, painful, and required cost also to do this kind of process completed. Now, blockchain technology can revolutionize this thing and do it in seconds. Uh, in this process, every stakeholder has got pain. For example, the student has got the problem. He has to come to the school or the college and get the all data regard. The college or the institute also has got the problems to find out the old record, dig it out, validate, and do the things. And everybody has to put some sort of time and money in doing all this. Increased global collaboration and standardization of the blockchain platform in education will help uh, to use blockchain for utilizing these things, so that the potential of the future adoption into the K-12 universities and lifelong learning platform, meaning thereby the student from the KG to PG, wherever he has learned, all his data will be validated and available online everywhere. So need not have to go anywhere and get it again reevaluated, re-endorsed, reconfirmed, kind of thing. The next step is the collaboration between the government, universities, and the technical companies to drive the adoption. Now, such kind of system, if we have to adopt, Naturally, government has to come up with a framework, how exactly it should have been done. There should be a standardization between this, all universities, so that what data they want and what data they should share. And then the technical company should also be the part of this, so that the technical company should develop the solutions as per the directives given by the government. Now we have to see beyond Bitcoins.
This slide is not movable. This
Is it movable now? Hello?
no, sir.
No, sir, no. We are able to see only current trends. Yes.
Now it will change.
I don't know. In between, it is actually hanging the streamings. But now you can see.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we have to see beyond the Bitcoin bubble. So whenever we talk about the blockchain, we always see that it is something with the cryptocurrency, or it is something related with the Bitcoins. And the blockchain is related with something like the currency or the money or something, but not like that. Blockchain is a technology which has got the ability to make the things trustworthy. Because it is a currency, it is a trustworthy. Because it is authenticness is required as far as the currency is concerned. That is why for Bitcoins or the cryptocurrency, blockchain technology is being used. So we have to see beyond this only creating currencies or the Bitcoins from the blockchain technology. But blockchain technology can have the larger role to play into the education system. Now, whether the slide has changed now? Hello?
No, sir, no.
I will go in this mode possibly. Here you can see now it has changed. So in spite of going in the full screen mode, I will go in the mixed mode so that you can have the both the screens visible parallel. Okay. Make it slightly bigger. So blockchain technology in education. The application can be the students' record and the transcripts. As I have mentioned earlier, the students' record become a very difficult thing when the student changes 2, 3 colleges or universities together and go for the higher education. He has to collect all those things, TCs, mark list, and then the grades, and then the grade normalization, the equivalence of the grades from one institute to another, and such kind of all the things. This can happen automatically using the blockchain technology. The transparent and the variable certifications, they have got a different type of certifications, different type of levels in different universities or different countries, and this can be brought at par using a simple formula of having the transfer of credits from one place to another. Then the decentralization of learning and the credentializing. So what happened basically, the doing all this kind of management with your credentialization is a centralized. Centralized means with one institute only. And if something goes wrong with that particular organizational management structure, can create a problem. For example, some institute, some college or university is having your marks. And if there is some scam over there, it will spoil entire data, or it can spoil the data of the student. So if we decentralize it, meaning thereby the content is available at multiple places, so no a single place has got entire control to tamper the data. So this is basically idea behind using the decentralized content. So we can see with the diagram. I hope everybody is seeing the diagram now. So what the current structure of the modern database is, there is a central database available. You can see in this diagram, and these are the students available on one side, and there is the institute which controls this data. So all the students put their data like first year mark, second year mark, and all internal mark, external mark, They process together at the central database and generate a result, and which is being given to this output as a degree certificate or mark list or result. Now, what happened? The target audience will get the result from only one database, which is being controlled by a single institute. So what happened? Suppose this institute or anything goes wrong with this database, entire audience will get the severity of the change which is going to happen into this database, because our entire dependency is on only a single point central database system. So now what is being proposed into the blockchain technology, we will see what can go wrong with the existing system, and then we will see what is the proposed solution. The existing system, there is a possibility of there can be a change in the database. Database can be hacked, database can be tampered, database can be manipulated, negotiated. So the data can be changed or hacked or managed when it is just centrally controlled by the single system. The other thing is that data can be deleted. If there is some another intruder available who has to do something wrong with the system or with the institute, they can delete the data and you can lose, or there can be a natural calamity or some problem because of which also they can lose the data. Then institute can prevent access. So what happens? The entire control with the institute. There are private institute available. There are certain restrictions with the institution, and institute can prevent access the data to the other party. So entire control is with the institute itself. Then the institute can put conditions on access. I have also seen that there are so many private colleges which, for validation of the data, charges fee for the student. It is their marks, but only to get it validated, they ask money or the fees for that. Naturally, they require the manpower and infrastructure. They ask the cost for that. So institute can put the conditions for the access. Then the institute can use data in an unauthorized manner. Because the data lies with the institute, somebody can take the data and use it for different another purposes. Like you know very well, you go to the insurance company or you go to the credit card company, give your data, and that data has been given to some other persons, and you get a call that you can take another credit card or another insurance policy or something. So data can be used for the in an authorized manner for another interest in the market. So these are the issues with the central database. Now, what happened in the blockchain that we will see. So with the blockchain, what happened? The data is being now distributed. Rather than distributed, decentralized, we can say. It is not distributed, it is decentralized. Decentralized means that they're removing the central authority. Blockchain eliminates the problems. So what happened? The copy of the data is available at one point, another point, and multiple points. So each user node, these are nodes, what you can see, the white color, these are the different nodes available, and each user node stores a complete copy of the data. So data is available as multiple nodes. So now one person, suppose, tampers the data, each user has to approve the entity. So the output, whenever it is being asked, every user has to approve whether the data is same or not. The version with the most copies in true version is the validated version. Meaning thereby, suppose somebody changed the data and the remaining two people have got the common data. The common data is the final data. What is the tampered data will be discarded. So meaning thereby here, because there are multiple copies available and maximum copies having the same data will be the authentic copy is the mechanism, because of which there is a zero possibility of getting tampered data. So data cannot be tampered. Data cannot be controlled by single party. Data cannot be conditional. Data should not have the conditional access by the party because it is available at the multiple places. So this is how the blockchain technology solves the problem which is having with their existing system. Now, what kind of data is this? So the type of data which is being stored is called as actually the ledger. Blockchain technology works with the ledger, and ledger is nothing but a simple entry like in your financial ledger. A public decentralized ledger has got only 4 or 5 fields available. in which the date, time, the person who is sending the data information, the person who is receiving the information, and the information. That's all. So these are the only 5 fields which is being put into a simple file, which is having a multiple copies at multiple location, securely placed, so that it will be made available wherever is required online with the validation that it is authentic. Now, the social value proposition of the blockchain. If we go with the blockchain, what we will get, what the society will get, that we will see. The first thing is that self-sovereignty and identity. So self-sovereignty, meaning thereby swaprabhutvata. Like when we have got the entire 100% control on your own data with your own identity. Now what has happened? You doesn't have 100% control on your data. You doesn't have the 100% authority to say that this is my mark list, this is final. No, every time you have to go get it validated, endorsed, what we can say, certify, or what we can say, we have to go back to the certifying agency and re-endorse it every time. So once we go to the blockchain kind of technology, you have got the ability to say, this is my data, that is final. There is no other agency required to again revalidate, re-endorse the authenticity of your document. What you say is your final document. Now, when you are using this will increase the trust in the society. So everybody will start trusting the document directly rather than going to the issuing authority every time to ask whether it is being real or whether it is being non-real. Next important thing happened is that the transparency. The transparency is that once the document is generated, it is transparently generated by the university or institute or whosoever. Once it is generated, it is available multiple places. So it will be a transparent, and there is a visibility if somebody changes or tampers the data. So this will bring in the transparency in the system and reduce the probability of creating scams and the fake documents, fake degrees, kind of things. Next is the immutability. Immutability, the meaning of immutability is that you cannot change. There is no possibility of changing anything once the document is generated from the source. So the document remain as it is once it is being generated by the source till its lifetime. Is called as immutability, which is the basic characteristics of the blockchain mechanism. And that is why it is used in currency also. Because once it is being produced, created, it is not going to change in real time. Next thing that can be possible with the blockchain is disintermediation. Now, disintermediation meaning thereby there is you and the target person. There is no intermediate person. So we are disqualifying all intermediate persons which are endorsing authority, approving authority, again and again doing the job. So it is from the origin to the destination straight. There is no third-party intervention. There is no intermediate person available, no intermediate agency required in this technology. And this gives a very big control to the individual student and the target institute, or what you can say, the companies also. Because these days, there is a process. Whenever a student goes into the company or the job, the company calls his document and send for validation. Now, it is not possible for the HR of every company to go personally and get it validated. So there are agencies. Many corporate companies have enrolled. These agencies take the case and then they prove and validate the document of the candidate. Now, when they validate the document of the candidate, they have got the process to do the validation of the document. Now, in this process, there are so many intermediate people available, and because the outcome is based on their own efficiency, accuracy, and commitment with doing the job. So if we have got such kind of system, this will be direct from the source to destination, and no intermediate person, no intermediate agencies are needed. Many times these intermediate agencies doesn't do their job properly, and because of which the candidate has to wait for a long time, or many times they are not able to validate, and that is why they have to lose their job, and so on and so forth. So all such kind of problems, not only in the education system, but from education system to the job market also, even from recruitment agencies also, this problem can be solved. Now, let's see how exactly the world is moving ahead and how the blockchain technology sits in between. Now, we know we are in the second generation and moving into the third generation of the web. What we were using to say web 1.0, web 2.0, and now the web 3.0. Now, let's see the what was the different parameters wherein these webs are being defined. Let's say the 1.0. The 1.0 web was the open web. Open web in the sense there was the data available built on the open protocols. Then the who were using it, the scientists, academicians basically were using, and this is more or less a one-way data delivery. Generally, the content are being put onto the website and people used to read it. So it was a one-way things available. Even in commercial space also, you will see that you can have a site of the some shop or some sort of institute. You will have the information who is the proprietor, who is the principal, who is the where it is located, what is the address, photographs, and other things. This was only a one-way communication available in Web 1.0. Whereas when we went from 1.0 to 2.0, this 2.0 web is called as the social web. Now it was the closed, built on the closed protocols. And basically corporates put a lot of interest in this, and this was the closed web. And then closed web in the sense, if you have to do anything, you have to create your login and password, and then only you will be allowed to go inside. And then when it is being closed, you go inside, the communication was a two-way. Then you can also put something and they can also deliver to you. Let's say, for example, your bank website or your IRCTC reservation website or your college login or your social media login, your WhatsApp login, Facebook login, and such things. Wherein you have to have a credential to enter. You should have a login mechanism because it is not open. It is a closed. Only a registered people can enter in. Once you enter in, there is a bilateral communication. You can also send something, you can also receive something, and this was the two-way communication available, and basically it is the Web 2.0. Now, the difference between 1 and 2 was that it was open, it is closed. This was based on open protocols, this is based on closed protocols. This was the one-way communication, this is the two-way communication. Then we are into now in the third generation of the web, what we call as the Internet 3.0. Now, Internet 3.0 is the basically the blockchain web. Now, blockchain web is a such kind of thing which supports both open and close, because we want something to be open and we want something to be close also. This has got the again bilateral communication possible. You can have the both the way possibility of sharing the data information, and the applications are also developed in such a way that there should be the authenticity, trust, transparency, and that is why we have to go with the blockchain technology, because we are entering into Internet of Things 3.0 or Internet 3.0. So everything 3.0 gives you possibility of having both the colors of 1.0 and 2.0. That is, uh, 1.0 and 2.0 You can say open protocols or the open web also, and the social web or the closed protocols. So it summarizes both the things. That is why it is more advanced. Now, how blockchain is starting to impact education. Now, once you start your current production application involves notarization of the certificate in the blockchain. Notarization of certificate in the blockchain in the sense, once you generate a certificate, you have to just pass once into the blockchain system. That's all. So here you can see that the certificate is being generated by the organization or institute or college, and then it goes into the blockchain system. Once it passed, it will be delivered to the end user and stored one copy into the blockchain system. Once it is being delivered to the end user with the copy into the blockchain system, the certification or your credentials are notarized. Once it is being notarized in the sense, if you know very well into the land registrations or the property or other things also, you go to the notary to get it notarized. That is, it is authorized. So similar kind of digital notarization or authentication, you have to do only once with every certificate. At the time of generation of the certificate itself is nothing but the blockchain mechanism. Once it is being notarized, it is for lifetime with the blockchain, and you can anytime say that only it is notarized document. Similarly, here it is a blockchain document. They will go to the blockchain, get it verified, and done. So European Union has already taken the steps to do it. These people have started in 2017-18 to work on this, and they have run a pilot to generate the certificates. I can show these are the certificates from the European Union College, which is notarized onto the blockchain mechanism. And it is a similar certificate what we give, only it is being authenticated or notarized by the blockchain mechanism. So the blockchain basically has got the capability of giving the trust and authenticity of your document that it is valid. And this is only you have to do once and get it checked for lifetime. Now, once you go for the validation, it will give such kind of results saying that this certificate is verified. So verified successfully or not, this is being only authenticated by the blockchain system. Now, what exactly blockchain system says that it has got the multiple layers of the digital copies available, and these multiple layers of digital copies are put at different locations so that they are difficult to tamper. So once you go for the validation, it will go to the all the copies, find out which is the common data available, and the common data is the same, or whichever is the data same in all the certification, and that is available on the final certification is being verified. Now the standard delimitation. Now what happened basically, now technology is very good. Technology is acceptable. But the issue with the technology is that there is no standardization right now available. Like I have shown you the photograph of the cable connectors. You know very well with the mobile, there are so many connectors available. The objective is that to charge the mobile, but we have got so many connectors available. We have got a micro USB, we have got USB, we have got a C type, we have got the A type, and so on and so forth. So there are now, but with the period, with the time, we are coming to the standardization of coming with the solution of saying that no, type C connectors are only the standard connectors, and we should use the type C connector. The purchaser also go with the type C USB connector so that it is globally available. Everybody uses the same kind of thing. So the standardization of the technology is very important. So in the blockchain also, we need to fine tune and standardize it in the required format. What type of the solution we are going to adopt. Then we have to avoid the scams and the fake kind of the players coming into the market. So this is also one of the important thing that there should not be a fake companies who come in between and create the scams and spoil the acceptability of the technology. Next thing is that the standardization and regulations can hinder involving when we still discovering the potential of the technology. So the standard, when we say the standardization and regulation, the role of the government become very important and dominant, because government has to do the standardization, government has to comes with the regulation, and then the regulations can be imparted. So there is a three prone approach, that is the uh, regulate blockchain policy. Government should come with the regulational policy for the blockchain now. And this policy should draft what should be acceptable, what should be not acceptable, how the things can be done. Then the standardization of education layer, meaning thereby there should be a standard process of interconnecting or exchanging the data between the various institutes. Because the institute require different types of data, there can be a problem later. So there should be a standardization of the ledger. What you require? You require name, you require the address, you require the subject, marks, and other things. But somebody starts saying that I want caste also. So whether it is being standardized or not, so everybody should start then giving the caste also. Or somebody says that we want date of birth also. So what should be the standard data they should have? Should be standardized first, a template, and those standards should be implemented so that there should not be confusion in the lateral stage, and there should not be chaos in the system because of some extra demand available. And this is the standard process, is it being followed with the all other things you know very well, what is happening with the PAN or Aadhaar or your election card. There are standard things available now across the country. But now there is a need to standardize a global level, because education is not limited with the boundaries of a country, but there is a lot of possibility that people are moving from one country to another country for the education, and in the education segment there should be a standardization across the globals. So the European Union and the Western people are coming with their own standards. We have to develop our own regulatory standards in line with them, so that we should be at par with them and we should have the global standards. Third important thing is that for doing this, there should be a standard framework available. It is not that everybody is developing the solution, because now this is point number 3 is addressed to the market, because the solutions, the technology or the platforms will be developed by some companies. So their companies should have a standard framework so that there should be an interoperability, meaning thereby what is being developed by the local players should be compatible with the what is being developed by the global player, so that the American system, European system, and Asian system or Indian system can talk each other online properly. So for doing these exchanges or intercommunication, there should be a standard framework available, how the things can be exchanged with each other. This happens in case of, you know very well, a MasterCard, credit card, this kind of things, or debit cards. All the data are being transferred globally from one place to another because they have got a global standard. So there is a need. This again, the Western people have come up with their own global standards frameworks, and we should also follow those standard frameworks so that our systems can also be compatible with the global platforms available across all other countries. Openness dilemma. Now, the openness dilemma is that how much market we are exploring our data, how much people we are making our data available. So the blockchain technology has got the 3 standards: the open blockchain, the closed blockchain, and the hybrid blockchain. So you can decide which kind of data should be in the open space, which type of data should be a secure space, and which kind of data can be open and closed. Open and closed in the sense, initially it is closed, but by doing certain kind of registration and other thing, it can be open. And there is a certain data which is being for only backend use, that we called it as a closed blockchain. So the blockchain has got all the 3 paradigms available. You can have the open blockchain, you can have closed blockchain, you can have hybrid blockchains also. Now, with these trends, how the international people are moving. So you can see that this is news I have just put into the slide, is that the Sony developers systems for authenticating, sharing, and rights management using the blockchain technology. So we know that these days there is a lot of issue of the copyright related with. There are so many now online solution available to check the plagiarism. All you people are utilizing this kind of solutions while writing your research paper and other things, and thesis and other things. But to avoid this or for utilization of this, there is a solution what Sony has come up with, because it is a media company. So whatever media they are creating, they are putting their copyrights or the things using the blockchain technology. Because if you want to check whether the copyright of this particular thing lies with whom, the blockchain will give authentically the solution that this lies with this person. There should not be a conflict or tampering or the manipulation of the copyrights of the content. And international players are coming with the solutions with the standard frameworks. This is just an example to say that now the applications are also being brought into the market. Then they are using this internationally. Next is the key conclusions and recommendations about the blockchain technology. Now, if you see the blockchain technology, the basic directive for all educational institute is that they have to, government has to direct all education institute to act in the direction of utilization of the blockchain, especially open blockchain. Recipient will be the owner. There should be the vendor independenceness. There should not be any dependency on the vendor or the middleman or the service provider, and decentralized verification. So verification doesn't have a centralized control. I have to go to the X party and get it validated, because it may create the again control, monopoly, restriction, conditional access kind of thing. So there should be a decentralized verification, and then the vendor independentness will give the multiple people to come as a service provider, and then ownership of the content will be the recipient's ownership. Nowadays, what happened? The ownership of our content is the institute's ownership. If you want a duplicate thing, you have to go over there, because the ownership is with them. They are the people who are going to give the certificate or the document and every time. So once it is being handed over to you, it will be the recipient's ownership rather than the institute ownership. So this is going to be the paradigm change into the education system. Then commonly agreed technical standards. There should be a commonly agreed technical standards, as I have discussed earlier. The qualification should be extended to all educational credentials, and these standards in turn made blockchain aware. So as far as the blockchain aware data, some data may be additionally added. I think that some of the universities has come up with putting the barcodes on their certification. Some institute has come up with putting some QR codes onto their mark list and other things. So these are some sort of efforts are being done in some direction. Blockchain is the next step in this direction, so that now these barcodes or QR codes can only give them the interlinking to the record in their central databases. But rather than here, we are proposing to the not central, but the multiple copies of the databases, which is on the blockchain servers. Next is the benefit of the blockchain in the education. The first benefit of the blockchain technology in the education system is the security. The security in the sense, we have seen there are so many scams happening in our country as far as the fake degrees are concerned, fake mark list are concerned, in all levels. This is from the 10th, 12th graduations, fake certificate to the fake PhDs. So everything is being fake is available in the market, and the authentication or the verification, validation become lot of issues for all the agencies. The recruiting agencies, the higher education admitting agencies, and in the society also. So that is why the security is a bigger concern which is being addressed perfectly by using the blockchain. Efficiency. Efficiency says that the time which is required to get the validation and the reliability of the validation become a very big issue, because it took a lot of time to get the validation, and the reliability of the validation is also many time an issue. That is why, and it is a time consuming. Because of the blockchain, this will happen within the seconds, and the efficiency will increase from the user perspective. Whereas from the institute perspective, their workload will also reduce, because such kind of validation or the re-endorsement or the verification unnecessarily put a lot of burden onto the institute, and it depends in a typical season. And in that way, season, everybody want to get it validated. We have seen every year there are so many news into the media saying that the caste validity certification dates are being extended. Caste validity is not requires a lot of time. Actually, it's a time consuming process. So the using blockchain kind of technology, we can have the better efficiency. Then the cost naturally, no time, so no cost, no manpower required. Then transparency, because there is a single agency, blockchain agent, technology as a platform, so people will trust on this. There will be a transparency, and then the interoperability, meaning thereby even if you go to other state, other country, university, there will be interoperability. You need not have on the it gets changed from one country to another country, because they are interoperable. You can move from here to there seamlessly. Then challenges in implementing the education. We have to come to the different type of challenges. First of all, the year resistance from the educational institute to adopt the new technology is very common. You know very well there are some which has got a resistance to change the existing things to go to the next level, and that is why there can be a possibility of the having some barrier in adopting the new technology. Cost of implementation. Yes, if you go for any technology, there is a cost. There is initial setup structural cost that they have to bear, and here there can be a resistance to manage the cost of the implementation of such kind and the standards. The lack of global regulatory frameworks and for the blockchain in education. There is no standardization available in our country or in the globally also, because there are no regulations set. I hope that in new education policy they have given a directive, and accordingly the new IT policy will accommodate this and will come up with the standard regulation which is in line with the global regulation. But there is no global regulatory agency available right now, but that will also come in due course of time, as it happens for everything. But this is again one challenge that we have to handle and face in due course of time. Then interoperability, again, integrating the blockchain with the existing system. That is another interoperability. We were talking about the interoperability between the different countries, but now we have to see the interoperability with the existing system and the blockchain technology. How exactly our existing system will be bridged with the blockchain technology, so that again this transition will also become the seamless. That we have to see. So these are the few challenges in implementing the blockchain technology in education. The summary of an entire lecture is like this: the ICT is transforming higher education by enhancing accessibility, engagement, and the personalization. So we are going into the paradigm of personalized education, and this is only possible because of the increase into the high level of accessibility. We can access data, we can access video, we can access picture, graphics, and everything. So accessibility has brought a new revolution, and that is why education has become more personalized. Then the adaptation of the AI, cloud computing, virtual reality, augmented reality, and the massive online open courseware, that is books, is retracing the learning environment these days. The entire system is being changing from the classroom education to the out of classroom education also. The future trends promises future integration of emerging technologies to improve the teaching learning outcome. So the new technologies are being always going to integrated into the system as a new improvement into the teaching learning process. And we hope that this will all help to make the education more stronger in coming days. Now, call of action. So, what you can do at your own level after listening to this lecture is that encourage institute to invest into the ICT infrastructure. Your institute should you have to increase the investment into the ICT. You encourage your institute to your management to your administration to invest more into the ICT framework, update it to the best possible level, affordable to your level. Then promoting faculty training to adopt the new technology. You have to promote your own faculties to adopt the new technology every day, because those who learn new technologies will stay ahead. Otherwise, the other people will go ahead and you have to then follow them. And then they preparing the student for the digital future learning. So not only making the teacher aware about the technology and the adoption of the technology, but now you have to also see that the students should also be able to be ready for the digital future learning. And I hope that this will increase the entire Indian educational paradigm to the futuristic ICT new educational system. So I hope that you find this thing interesting, and hope that very soon we will be going to adopt the blockchain technology. Thank you very much. So if there are any questions, I am open to answer them. Hello. If there are questions, you can ask me.
No, sir. Thank you for your
Okay.
presentation, sir.
Okay. If there are no questions, shall we stop this session?
We'll take a break, sir. Next session is also there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir, Dr. Rahul Deshmukh, sir.
Yeah.
May I ask you one question that how the people can use this blockchain, whether there is any subscription needed or some finances involved in usage of blockchain
See,
technology
now,
to generate or to maintain the data and use it for the further purposes.
yes, there are service providers available wherein you can go and register yourself, create an account, and then whichever document you have to get the blockchain authentication, you have to get that document notarized into the system, for which they charge you for a small subscription fee. Because this is now third party solution available, and blockchain is a little resource-oriented technology, wherein there are servers involved and they have to store the data. So naturally, the cost they will be going to charge from the subscriber. So this is going to be a cost solution. But yes, there are service providers available wherein you have to do nothing, but you go, you register yourself properly and get your document authenticated. And once it is get notarized, keep on sharing. And on your document, there will be a link available whenever people want to find out the validity, they have to just go to that link, put the document over there, number on there. It will say whether it is verified or not verified. A very simple process.
Thank you, sir.
Any more questions? Okay, if there are no questions, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Dear participants, we will start the next session sharp at 12:30. So till we will take the break. Sharp at till 12:30 we will resume. Thank you everyone.
Hello. Hello.
Hi, yes, you are audible,
Yes.
but we have taken the break. Sharp
Acha.
at 12:30, we will start, sir.
Okay, okay, no problem. No problem.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Hello, Pratik sir, shall we start, sir?
Yes, no problem. Please.
Yeah. So, good afternoon, one and all, once again. As we have earlier discussed, we have splitted today's session into the two different parts. In first part, we have conducted the role of ICT and in the development of the higher education and as well as the education. Now, in the second part, it is very crucial and important parts. Friends, you know that every certificate course as well as the program and the various courses, there are some certain assessment points. Without assessment, we cannot award any kind of certificate, diploma or degree. And in the assessment, ICT has also played the crucial role in the today's era. Most of the assessment has been done in the digital mode, and therefore there are a number of technologies and tools that has been available in the public domain and all in the open source software at the free of cost, that should be used for this assessment for this assessment pattern of students, for our students. So today we will discuss the tools, ICT tools for the assessment, for the various kind of assessment. And to deliver this session, we have with us our centers director and the senior professor, Professor Mohammad Atiq sir. Sir, warm welcome you. Friends, everyone I think knows Professor Atiq sir, because sir is working in this field of higher education more than 3.5 decades, and sir has played in the different roles and in the different capacity as a teacher, as a professor, not only in our university. Sir is also belonging to formerly Government College of Engineering. So sir has a vast background in this field of technology. There are a number of things that I could told with regards to Professor Atiq sir, but the only thing is that under his able guidance, this center, MMTTC center, is growing, and because of only him, we are conducting such kind of programs. So sir, I extend my warm welcome to you and
Thank you.
request you to start with your session, sir, please.
Thank you very much. And actually, it is not I alone. Okay, as Ankit has rightly pointed out, we are marching ahead with a lot of energy and all. And the credit goes to my team, particularly Mr. Ankit Thakur, who is actively working day and night for making all the program a great success. Thank you, Ankit. As you have touched upon that area, I feel that it is appropriate, and the participants must be experiencing maybe in last 6-7 days. That is, even though I am not there all the time, but Ankit is almost there when it comes to supporting or extending support for any small activity. Right. Anyway, so let us begin with today's session. I hope I am loud and clear. And uh, any one of you just confirm. I will start sharing my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, yes, sir.
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir.
Yes. So today we will not have a monologue. We will have a dialogue, right? Wherein I will share some of my experiences which I have acquired over last 3.5 decades. Right. So we'll have some discussion. I will say, I will not say that, I will not claim that I will teach you something. Okay. Rather, I will share certain things which I feel is the need of the hour. Right. So with this much introduction, let me share my, I hope my entire screen is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So let me, whether the slides are visible.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Yes.
Thank you for the confirmation. And as you can see here, that is today, maybe in next 90 minutes, we will have a look at, in detail, we will have a look at what are the various ICT-based tool one can use for assessment in particular. But I will start my deliberation with some of the, you can say, the fundamental aspects of teaching learning, and how as a teacher we need to change. That is what is my intention, rather motive of today's deliberation, right? So this is what is there on the agenda. That is, these are the learning objectives as far as this session is concerned. We will just try to look at what are the various terms in psychologies of learning and instruction. Okay. This we will invest some maybe 5-10 minutes on certain things. You may feel, okay, sir, these are very basics, but many times when it comes to, you can say, discussion, I found that we commit some mistake when it comes to understanding certain terminologies in particular. So we'll start from scratch. That is, we will have a glimpse of certain psychologies of learning and instruction. Okay, then gradually we'll move ahead with the teaching learning process in general. So what are the building blocks of teaching learning? And then we'll have a look at what are the factors influencing learning. Right? So there are numerous factors. We'll have a look at them. Okay, so being a teacher, that is how best we can teach. That is the ultimate objective. And what are the modes of learning? And as I said initially, my thematic area, which I will be focusing on today, is what is assessment, right? So many times we are very good in teaching, but when it comes to assessment and particularly setting papers, and I found that your institution, what I could see in years to come, okay, you may become a cluster university, right? So for you, I feel in particular, that is when it comes to assessment, many times I am not saying that it happens all the time, but many times we compromise when it comes to assessment, particularly the autonomous institutions, right? So how we can keep the quality at the same time, and how we can work efficiently on assessment, that is what is the theme of today's deliberation, wherein we will have a look at what is SAMR model, right? SAMR model is just in brief, I'll tell you, that is, it is you can say a criteria which you can apply, and you can very well confirm whether a particular tool, because there are thousands of tools available, open source tools and so on. So whether a tool conforms to SAMR criteria or not. So if it conforms to SAMR model, meaning thereby it is a standard tool. So we'll just try to examine all those tools, whatever we are going to discuss today, by applying this SAMR model criteria. And at the end, we will have some hands-on on certain technology-enabled assessment tools, particularly hot potatoes, Socrative, NetLogo, maybe Answer Garden, and so on. Right. So having said this, this is what I'm going to cover in next 90 minutes. Let us begin with the very first aspect of today's deliberation. That is, what are the various psychological learning terminologies, right? So normally, when we claim that, let's say, if you want to, you came across any technology session, okay, we toss these terms very casually many times. Okay, so we will have some discussion on this. That is, what is pedagogy, what is andragogy, right? What is teaching, learning, and training? Okay, and before I proceed, right, I would love to interact. Let's say I would like to know your perception about what do you feel that what pedagogy is all about. So we'll start with the very first term, that is pedagogy. So what is your perception about pedagogy? If any one of you can unmute yourself and you can come up with some answer. See, I'm comfortable in Hindi as well as Marathi, right? So you have a multilingual support. So whatever is your understanding, okay, with regard to pedagogy, if any one of you can come up, so that will be the starting point, and then gradually we'll move ahead. So anybody who wish to answer, that is what pedagogy is all about. We use it in our day-to-day life. Okay, being a teacher. Yeah, Shah sir, Nirav Shah.
Method for teaching?
It is, yes, absolutely correct. It is nothing but a method of teaching. But what is the objective of, let's say, method? Again, you have numerous methods of teaching. It is nothing but the methodology, as he has rightly pointed out. Any other answer? Anybody else who wish to put throw some light on this particular aspect? Anyway, doesn't matter. right? So let us take it little further. Okay, what is pedagogy? It is the method, as Professor, I think Dr. Neerav Shah has rightly pointed out. It is the method and practice of teaching, okay, especially as an academic subject or theoretical concept. What does this mean? Basically is that is when you plan a theoretical session, maybe a theory lecture, okay, whatever you actually do is nothing but the pedagogy. That is while deliberating on some particular topic in a classroom kind of environment or a chalk duster kind of environment, right? Whatever approach you adopt or whatever method you adopt, it is nothing but the pedagogy, right? And what is the objective? As I have posed this question as well. That is the basic underlying philosophy of adopting a particular pedagogy is how best to teach. So what is the ultimate aim? That is how best you can explain that particular subject in a classroom environment, right? Because all of we feel, see, our aim is to deliver the best possible way so that the student can digest it, right? For us, maybe we are teaching the same subject years together, but for the student, it is the very first occasion. So they came across many things which they feel completely new. They were never ever exposed to those things, right? So how best you can pass on the instructions so that the student can digest the most difficult concept in the easiest manner, right? Now, if you look at the historical perspective, this was also called as by John Frederick Herbert as the theory of education, right? What was the Herbert's theory of educational philosophy? It is nothing but the pedagogy, and that is how best you can teach in the classroom environment. And what do we do normally? If you can answer, that is, you, let's say you are planning for a session tomorrow, maybe on some XYZ topic. So what is your approach? How do you prepare for it? Anybody wish to answer this? What is expected ideally, and then we will move ahead. No issue, right? So what is expected? How do you plan a session? Let's say I am delivering this particular session. Okay, so what should be the starting point? Anybody? Actually, my intention is I want that we must have a dialogue, right? Why I am emphasizing this? The maybe the third or the fourth slide will clear that particular thing, right? So whenever we claim that the you can say the teaching is taking place, meaning thereby there is a dialogue. It should not be a monologue kind of activity, right? Now, let's say if you want to adopt a particular method, we follow a methodical approach. And what is that methodical approach? Is to that can be categorized into 5 steps. Okay, the very first step is preparation. Second one is presentation. Third one is association. Fourth one is generalization, and the fifth step is the application. Now, we'll go one by one, right? Let's say you want to deliver on a particular topic, maybe let's say Newton's law of motion. Okay, 1, 2, 3 laws you have planned. So what you will do, you will prepare the stuff maybe in handouts form or maybe in PowerPoint presentation, whatever it is, right? So that lesson plan will be comprised of preparation, the very first aspect. Let's say without preparation, if you enter into the class, uh, maybe you are not at all new to that particular subject, but if you have not prepared it, you will not be in a position to deliver it in the right spirit, right? So the very first thing we do is, rather the very first step we do is, we go for the preparation of the session. Then you go for the presentation, you will deliver it in the class. And while delivering, it is expected that uh, see, you have to make certain things in the right manner. Okay, so what do we do normally? We associate the concept with the real life scenarios, right? uh, Maybe giving examples, okay, in the real life situation. Okay, and then what do? We take that, you see, it is expected ideally from a teacher to take that particular concept further, to go for a generalization and application sort of thing, because you must have seen certain demonstration wherein maybe very complicated concepts of physics can be easily taught by demonstrating a particular, you can say, with the help of certain experimentation or learning by doing kind of activity. But my experience is, most of us, we are very good when it comes to preparation and presentation. But when it comes to association, generalization, and application, most of us, I'm not saying all, most of us, we fail to deliver. Rather, we struggle. Okay, why do we struggle? That is another area. Because normally we feel that this is the subject, this is how it is to be taught, and our job is all done. But when you make the things in the real time perspective, okay, it has a better understanding for the student. Not only the better understanding, but they will, when they will came across those aspects in their real life situation, they can very well relate the things. Okay, that is how, say, every action has a reaction. Okay, but when you demonstrate it with the help of certain things, so my the underlying thing which I intend to specify here is, that is, we must be good in association, generalization, and application, right? I'll not go into the details, but when I was the student, most of our subjects were, because I belong to engineering discipline, okay, and the title itself were applied mathematics, applied physics, applied chemistry. But I'm sorry to say, they were all good teachers, okay, they were all great mathematician, great physicist, and so on. But they were good in their subjects, but they were not knowing, because this, that is how you can associate some. I'm not saying all, but most of them, when it comes to, let's say, application of Laplace transform or Fourier transform in image processing, nobody has taught us. So we have studied mathematics separately and digital signal processing separately, right? So when you try to see the application, okay, you can very well understand that is how fantastic it is, right? So what I intend to say is, we must be very good in association, generalization, and application. That is equally important, right? Now, the another terminology we came across when it comes to psychological learning is the andragogy. Okay, I don't know whether some of you must have heard this, but it is not, you can say, a very new thing. It has been tossed way back in 1833 by Cap, Alexander Cap. Okay, and talks about the science of understanding theory and supporting practice. Okay, that is how you can transform an ordinary learner to a lifelong learner. That is the philosophy, and moreover, when you are dealing with, you can say, the adult learners, okay, so your approach must be little bit different. Okay, but unfortunately what happens, okay, we normally keep, rather we do not keep that particular thing in our mind, and we start delivering the session, right? So your approach has to be different, okay, because you are dealing with adult learners, and most of us, we are from, you can say, the senior colleges. So whatever student input you get, they are all adult learners. Now you may say, sir, what is the difference between an ordinary school going student or a junior college student and an adult learner? Oh, there is a lot of difference, because they are all grown up people, right? And their understanding is altogether different. Okay, and they don't feel appropriate most of the time, that it should be taught in a particularly, just like when you teach to a KG1 or a KG2 student, wherein you try to write, okay, support them in learning at every minor steps. Here, what do they feel is, they feel that you should expose them and let them learn on their own, right? So this andragogy is, again, we need to, and as a teacher, now here our role is little bit different. Okay, now if you look at the today's scenario, particularly wherein the students are equipped with a lot of ICT tools, okay, your role as a teacher has changed drastically. Now you are no more a teacher, you are a facilitator of learning, right? Now this facilitator, one has to digest many times, okay, your students are far ahead of you, I am telling you the truth. Okay, some of you must have came across those kind of situation wherein you feel that this would, because they are exposed to the technology. It is just because of them. So even if you can make them, you can say, a lifelong learner, okay, you have achieved in your objectives, right? So your job is to only facilitate learning. Okay, that is all. Okay, not all the time that teaching will happen and so on, right? So what is teaching? Let us try to look at this. Again, we feel that teaching is one of the most easiest jobs in the entire world, right? But I personally feel that it is one of the most difficult job, right? Because when it comes to teaching, okay, and let us look at the definition itself. I was talking about interactive process, right? So you have to have a dialogue, then and then you can accordingly mold your deliberation, right? Primarily involving classroom, right? Which takes place between teacher and student. Dialogue between who are the two parties involved, the teacher and the student, and occurs during a definite activities, thereby resulting in learning. So what is the output of teaching is nothing but the learning. Whenever we say teaching takes place, meaning thereby learning is happening. Now, who is a teacher? Okay, now teacher, to be a good teacher, okay, you have to have lot many skills. Okay, it is not merely that is talking on a particular topic, okay, maybe for 45 minutes or 1 hour. Okay, it is an art. Okay, it requires creative proficiency of an artist. It requires precise attitude of scientist, and it requires perfected skills of a craftsman. So even though these statements seems to be pretty simple, okay, when you just dig them in a greater detail, you will find them they are areas in themselves, right? So it is not that easy, and uh, whenever you enter into the class, as a matter of fact, okay, you are facing a lot of challenges. Okay, let's say your class strength is 60, then you can very well see that 60 different challenges are in front of you. So there are fast learners, there are slow learners. Okay, there are people in between. So different. Each individual has different peculiar characteristic, I should say, right? So facing them, okay, and then trying to satisfy them is in itself is a very challenging task, right? So most of the time we feel that teaching is the most easiest job. As a matter of fact, it is one of the most difficult tasks, right? One of the most difficult tasks. Now, another terminology we use is the training. So, what is the difference between teaching and training? Normally, training it is an organized activity. It is aimed at imparting information or instruction to improve the recipier's performance, to help him or her to attain a required level of knowledge or skills. Now, here we are talking about actually skills. Okay, normally, let's say if you want to learn how to drive a car, okay, you normally took admission in a training school, right? Why? Because it is of a shorter duration. Again, there are peculiar characteristics of training. It is a shorter duration. Normally, the you can say the educational institution, we conduct courses for 3 years or 4 years duration. But here it is of a few week, maybe 4 week, 8 week, and so on. It is basically of a shorter duration. It is expected to give immediate results, right? It is expected that when you undergo a training for driving a car, that is after completion of that 4 week training, you should be able to drive the car. Okay. And the term training evolved during World War II. What has happened? Actually, if you look at the historical perspective, you will understand that those days there were issues with regard to, you can say, the war front who will go. So normal citizens, they were trained to that is how to operate, you can say, warfare equipment, and they were I should say, they have been asked to participate in the war, something like that. So it has evolved in World War II. That is the historical perspective. So training is different, teaching is different, and one more term is there, what we call it as learning. So what is learning? It is relatively permanent change in behavior, right? Which results from reinforced practice, meaning thereby you do it again and again so that you get a mastery over it. And what is it? It is a process as well as a product. Now, this we need to understand. Why I'm saying it is a process? Because you undergo you can say a modular structure of maybe say 5 courses in semester 1, 5 courses in semester 2, third, fourth, and so on. up to 8 semester if it is of 4 years duration. So it is a process, right? And why I'm calling it as a product, because whenever the student undergo that particular course, okay, and when he's thrown out of the system, right, the institution, he or she become a product, okay, which should be employable in the market, right? So the student become a product, okay, and it is recognized, but well, this particular student is from Shivaji College of Science, Amravati, something like that, right? So the institutions, the students are known by the institutions, right? So they become your brand ambassador, I should say, right? It is the nature or tendency of human being. So we are irrespective of see, learning never ever, we feel that it takes place in the classroom kind of environment. No, you learn from your peers, you learn from your juniors, you learn from many times from your seniors, and so on. So learning all the time it takes place, right? It is the process of mental development. Now, when I'm saying mental development, basically there are three perspectives of it. The very first perspective is the cognitive domain, affective domain, and the psychomotor domain. We'll just try to dig this in a greater detail, right? It is both positive and negative. Many times we feel that whenever the learning takes place, it is positive only. It is not correct once again, right? It is individual in nature. Okay, it may vary from person to person. Okay, and learning is creative, right? So when you transform the person from you can say an ordinary person to a creative thinker, okay, you claim that the learning has taken place in that case, right? So this is few important aspects with regard to learning, right? So teaching is different, learning is different, and so on, right? Now let us have a look at the model, holistic model of you can say basic teaching model, and what it talks about, right, in general. So the very first, if you look at the building block of a teaching model, is the instructional objectives, right? If you can recall my session, okay, the very first slide I put after the title slide was, that is, what are the instructional objectives which we are going to deal with in today's session, right? So you set certain objectives in the beginning. On the parallel line, let's say, when it comes to, you can say, framing curriculum for a 3-year or a 4-year course, you have certain objectives you have to have, and that is nothing but the objective OBE, right? So you have certain instructional objectives. Then you have entering behavior. Entering behavior is nothing but the status of the you can say the student when they enter 0 at day into the class. Okay, and then they undergo maybe an instructional procedure. Okay, depending upon the duration. And what do we do at the end? We conduct some performance tests. If you look at this model itself in this particular NEP orientation and sensitization, it follows the same strategy, and it is our usual strategy. What do? We have certain objectives. The idea is to expose you to various, you can say, the salient features of NEP 2020. Okay, so you have certain things in your mind when you entered at day 0. Ideally, there has to be a 0 at day test. Okay, normally we do not conduct, but ideally there has to be a 0 at day test. And then at the end, what do? You underwent maybe 8 days instruction, okay, on various topics or other various perspectives of NEP. And at the end, once again, right now, I think we are having a quiz going on, right? So what is it? It is nothing but the performance assessment. Okay, and then you will be evaluated, you will be awarded certificates and so on, right? So, but you may ask, sir, is there any single method which is best suited for teaching? The answer is a big no, because 1,000 teacher, 1,000 methods. This is a typical Chinese proverb. Okay, and it talks about that is there is no single method which suits for every sort of you can say scenarios, right? So you have numerous methods. Nothing is right or nothing is wrong, right? You may say, if in terms of effectiveness or in terms of you can say the approach, okay, they may be different, but you cannot say that whether they are right or wrong, right? So you have, that's why this proverb is very correct. That is 1,000 teacher, 1,000 methods, right? Same thing. Let's say if somebody else try to deliberate, okay, he or she may come up with some different perspective, but ultimately the things will remain same, right? So I was talking about, that is, there were 3 domains of learning, right? 3 domains of learning. So the very first domain is the cognitive domain. Okay, now if you look at the educational system in our country, okay, we give undue focus on the cognitive aspects. That is wherein we talk about the knowledge and intellectual skills, right? The second aspect is the affective domain, wherein, as a matter of fact, we must have certain subjects wherein we must talk about the emotions and attitudes. I'll give some examples, okay, which will clear your ideas. That is why this is important. And the third one is the psychomotor, wherein we have physical and kinesthetic, that is utilizing motor skills and ability to coordinate them, right? So if you look at our education system, particularly the assessment system in particular, okay, we basically focus 95% on the cognitive aspects, okay, and 5% we cover the affective and the psychomotor kind. Okay, and particularly I'm talking about the institutions of Vidarbha region. Okay, there are practicals, but how the practicals are conducted, that you know very well, right? So we normally, if you look at the why the students of you can say University of Pune, they are more employable as compared to the students passed out from Amravati University, or for that purpose maybe Nagpur University. The answer is they take these aspects, that is the affective and the psychomotor aspects, very seriously. Okay, in I very well remember, maybe 34 years, 34. I started my career way back in 1990. So 34 years, I have never seen that if you ask, you go for any external examination for a practical subject, okay, and if you just try to give even maybe 70% marks, okay, immediately you get a phone call from the principal of the institute, sir, what is this going on? Right. So we feel that this practical is, we feel that irrespective of whether the student is actually performing or not, we feel that he has every right to get through in that practical examination. So that is our approach. As a matter of fact, that is absolutely rubbish and wrong approach, right? So failing in practical is, I have never ever seen. Okay, barring few exception, I don't know, but this is how we take it. Okay, and that's why these affective and the psychomotor, they are being neglected. Ideally, okay, we must give them equal weightage. Maybe let's say if you are calculating for 100%, maybe 34% for cognitive, 33% for affective, and 33% for psycho. But normally it is not there, right? When it comes to assessment. So let us try to dig these things in a greater detail. What are these teaching learning process? You have cognitive, wherein if you look at the assessment, particularly the question papers of any particular subject for that purpose, okay, you will find that we focus on understanding, problem solving, deriving a formula, and up to some extent application. But again, that is negligible. When it comes to affective, okay, that is the feeling, values, attitude, interest, and discipline. Now, NEP has made it possible. Okay, NEP talks about all these aspects, right? And you have psychomotor, wherein actually you have doing, that is practical skill, driving, assembling, painting, and so on. Okay, and that's why they have introduced a very beautiful concept in NEP 2020, wherein they talk about internship. Why this internship is important? Because maybe they are very good when it comes to the theoretical aspect of a particular subject, but when it comes to actually delivering, okay, they fail because they have never been exposed. That is how to do it, right? And that's why even for you can say science, even for humanities, okay, arts and humanities, these things are nowadays they are making it mandatory. Maybe six month you can say internship is now they have made it mandatory, right? So because they give they wish to give, that is the policymaker, they wish to give due importance to the psychomotor and the affective domain of learning, right? Now, let's try to dig this little forward. This is also known as the KSA, wherein K stands for knowledge, S stands for skills, and A stands for attitudes. Okay, you may be very good in when it comes to theory, maybe theoretical concepts. Okay, I am from an engineering background. Okay, many times when we you can say the corporate world, they visit our institute and they recruit these students. Okay, they don't pick you can say meritorious student. Okay, they pick ordinary students Okay, and if you ask them why they are picking up these kind of students, they will come up with the answer, sir, that fellow is maybe meritorious, but when it comes to attitudes and skills, okay, he is not, rather he is not a good fit when it comes to our organizational culture, right? So that's why I'm saying that if you look at the industry, okay, they give, because let's say if you are little bit 5-10% less in knowledge, okay, you can be very well trained, but attitudes and skills, okay, if you have a learning attitude, okay, if you are a lifelong learner, okay, they welcome you, because the technology is changing so rapidly, that is, you have to have these skills, okay. If you do not have these attitudes, definitely you are not a good fit in a particular organization, right? Let us maybe 5-10 minutes we will again invest on this. That is, this is basically this cognitive, affective, and this is basically the brainchild of what they call it as the Bloom's taxonomy, right? If you try to dig it a little further, and this is not at all new. Okay, this was proposed by Dr. Benjamin Bloom way back in 1956. Okay, and what this taxonomy talks about? Taxonomy is nothing but the classification. It talks about the intellectual behavior. Why this is important in learning, right? And it is an instructional theory which categorizes various levels of learning. So we do have, you can say, various committees in our universities. This was one committee of a developed nation, and they have come up with their recommendation in such a way which has revolutionized the education technology, I should say, right? So you can use this Bloom's taxonomy as a tool for instructor to assist with, look at the aspects which I have kept it in different color. Particularly red color is writing learning outcomes, that is starting from scratch, slide number 1. Curriculum planning, content delivery, as well as the assessment. Now, if you look at if you remember just try to recall the that model, okay, you will find that it talks about all the 4 models in a holistic manner. So it is an approach, okay, which you can, particularly the autonomous institution, you have to adapt it. Rather, it is mandatorily needed when it comes to NAC, NB, and so on, right? To use this particular thing as a tool for performing all these activities, right? Yeah. So what is it? It is these things I think I have already touched upon, so I'll not talk much on that. Uh, this taxonomy is also known as the taxonomy of learning objective. That is the alternative name given to Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, and what was their observation when they conducted this study in 1956? Benjamin Bloom, along with his team, they realized that 95% of the test question student encounter talks about the knowledge only. That is the recall. Okay, mugging up and reproducing the things again and again. So, as a matter of fact, that is, I'm not saying that it is not at all important. It is very much important, but that is the building block. Over that building block, you have to have other levels as well. So, what are all those higher levels that are those levels? We will have a look at. There are basically 6 levels of Bloom's. The very bottom level is the knowledge. Then you have comprehension. Okay, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So naturally, the output of one level is the prerequisite for the next level. Unless and until you have knowledge, okay, you will not be in a position to comprehend it, right? If you are able to comprehend it, then you will be able to apply it in the real life scenarios. Okay, once you acquire these 3 things, that is knowledge, comprehension, and application, then and then you will be able to analyze. So they may give you certain case studies and they will ask you to analyze. So what I intend to say is the bottom of knowledge level is very much important, but at the same time, we have to have the other levels as well when it comes to assessment in particular, right? Now, but what has happened then over a period of time, if you remember, that is the bottommost level is recall or remember is nothing but the knowledge level. Okay, now if you look at the question paper of any university for that purpose, I'm not saying Amravati University or any university, we talk about that bottommost level. Okay, remember, that is explain, define, and so on. Okay, what about the other aspects? Okay, that are completely ignored. Okay, wherein you have affective and those kind of things, right? So knowledge is important. Recall information. What are the keywords one has to use when it comes to designing a question paper? Identify, describe, name, label, recognize, reproduce, and so on. Comprehension. Now you just try to apply this in this. Just tell me that is how these keywords are there in your question papers. Summarize, convert, defend, paraphrase. Paraphrase I have never ever seen in Amravati University paper, question paper. That is paraphrase particular thing. But I'm not saying, maybe barring few exceptions, but most of the time these things are explained with the help of examples most of the time. So application analysis. Application is build, make, construct. These keywords are important. Analysis, compare and contrast. Okay, break down, distinguish, select, separate. Synthesis, okay, and evaluation, wherein you have keywords like appraise, critic, judge, argue, and support, right? Okay, maybe in MBA and all, okay, they normally give you certain case studies and they will ask you to come up with your own observation and argue on that the correctness of your solution, whatever you are proposing. Okay, so barring few exception, as I said, normally we go at most the knowledge, comprehension, and application. Okay, that is 4, 5, 6 are again the missing blocks in our evaluation system in general, right? Then what has happened? But what is ideally expected is you must use Bloom's action verbs while writing the learning outcomes, right? Action verbs I have already talked about in the earlier slides. You must use Bloom's level to structure content, and you must use Bloom's to assess oblique measures the students' progress. Okay, so the third one, the third objective, will have a look in a greater detail, wherein I will tell you that is how you can use ICT for that particular purpose, right? So again, I'll not go into all these details. Okay, let us go a little further. Okay, and just try to understand what has happened. Uh, One of the student of Dr. Benjamin Bloom, that is Lauren Anderson, he has come up with some modification in the Bloom's taxonomy, and that is popularly known as the revised Bloom's taxonomy. So he has made only two minor changes. The first change, what he proposed is, that is, he has categorized all those 6 categories from noun to verb. Okay. And the another change which he proposed and which was accepted and which is very logical, that is, he has interchanged the position of evaluate and create. Right. Those two things are there. The rest of the things are as it is. Okay. So if you look at this, if you just try to recall the Bloom's taxonomy, original Bloom's taxonomy, there we have knowledge at the bottom. Here we are talking about remember. Okay, then we have understand, apply, okay, analyze, evaluate, and create. These two things have been interchanged. That is, creativity, as expected, it should be the highest objective of any education system. When you can make creative thinkers, meaning thereby you have achieved in your objectives. So this is revised Bloom's taxonomy, and it is worldwide adopted by all the, you can say, the leading institutions, right? Revised Bloom's taxonomy. And now we will try to change our focus. That is, as I said, that is, I will be focusing on how we can use ICT for making assessment in general, right? Now, let's say I'll just try to relate this with the help of this Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so if you are setting up certain questions which requires MCQ sort of things, you are working at which level? You are working at the bottommost level, which is the Bloom's level 1. Okay, if you are asking the student to summarize an article, okay, you are working at level 2, that is understand. If you are working at you can say the analyze case studies, you are working at level number 4. Okay, and level 6 is the creativity and so, right? So we can very well design all these sorts of questions with the help of certain ICT tools. Okay, that is what is there, which I am going to demonstrate as far as this session is concerned. Okay, but before moving ahead, we need to understand certain things which, as an educational institution, our institutions are facing, right? So these are some of the, you can say, the points. Okay, I don't think they require any sort of explanation. Okay, but we need to understand this, right? As a teacher, okay, we give undue focus on certification. Okay, we do not believe in, you can say, the knowledge a particular person possesses. When it comes to, you can say, applying for a job, you have very hard coded rules. That is, now the UGC is planning to relax it, and I feel that I am for it. That is no formal education. Why it is needed that a vice chancellor should be a, you can say, a professor? Okay, not at all. Anybody who is having some skills in education sector, or who has contributed in education up to some extent, okay, he is welcome. And if he's a good leader, academic leader, so there's nothing wrong in that. So undue focus on marks. Okay, again, we have very hard, you can say, boundaries when it comes to assessment. आप 40 का अगर passing बोलते हैं तो 39 पे you simply declare a person has failed. But as a matter of fact, it is not justice with that particular student. So we have to have, what I intend to say is, we have to have a flexible passing criteria, which is there in almost all the premier institutions like IITs. And the professor is empowered to decide what should be the passing criteria based on the difficulty of the question paper. Let's say I'm setting a question paper of 100 marks, so I may set this passing criteria to even 20. Okay, somebody scored 20, I'll declare him or her as pass. So we have to have this, what should I say, a flexible passing criteria. Then lack of qualitative feedback. See, when it, as a teacher also, most of us, we are afraid of gathering feedback, right? So we have to have a 360-degree feedback, not only from your student, but from the society, from the, you can say, the other stakeholders like your parents and whatnot, right? Lack of assessment of high-level outcomes. Now, this I am referring to the Bloom's taxonomy. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are missing. Okay, lack of assessment of complex outcomes. Negligible assessment in the psychomotor and affective domain. Okay, this is a very serious problem. Okay, very serious problem faced by our education system. That's why our students are not employable. Okay, work-based learning or on-the-job training, OJT, it is not the part of curriculum. Now, this UGC, now, sorry, the NEP has made it possible. Liberal marking, okay, most of us, since our, you can say, the student's result is associated with your API and whatnot, okay, you go for, particularly the institutions who are autonomous, they go for a liberal marking. Okay, instead of teaching all the 6 units, they will teach only 3 units and frame the paper, question paper on those 3 units. What about the rest of the 3? Okay, and again you go for a liberal marking. So that is, again, you are not the, you can say, the well-wisher of the student, I should say. Rather, you are the biggest enemy of the students, because when they passed out and they are thrown out of the system, okay, they are not employable. Okay, everybody get through with 9+ pointer. Okay, when it comes to employment, hardly few of them they can make it. Okay, rest of them they are rejected, right? The reason is because they are not trained. Lack of assessment culture. Okay, and language of assessment. So that's why due emphasis should be given to all those keywords and so on. Right. Now let us move ahead with some other aspects. That is what we call it. Again, we use these terms very casually. So assessment and evaluation. What is assessment? It is an ongoing process. Okay, that's why many times we attach continuous assessment. Okay, and what is the objective? Aimed at understanding, you can say, the improving the students' learning. Okay, that is how much he or she has learned. What is evaluation? Evaluation normally takes place at the end. Okay, quality of the performance product or use of a process against a standard. When your students passed out and they appear for the interview, and then they work in some organization, there they are evaluated basically, right? So evaluation is judgmental. Okay, and then they are tagged. Well, this particular student, the product from IIT Bombay, when it comes to computer science, is the best in the world. Why? Because they excel. They have those peculiar characteristics, what is needed in the industry and so on, right? So assessment and evaluation, these two terms are not same. Many times we put a slash. Again, that is very absolutely wrong, right? Now let us dig assessment, because our today's topic is assessment. Again, you have numerous types of assessment, but let us begin with what is assessment in general, right? So what is assessment? Assessment is basically, many times we say that, again, this is a very common thing, that is, particularly the ladies staff member, the madams, they will appreciate that cooking is easy, but washing the utensil is difficult, right? And that's why they assign this duty to their better half most of the time. Right? So similarly, lecturing is easy. Okay, delivering on a particular topic in a theoretical, you can in a classroom kind of environment is bit easier, but when it comes to assessment, it requires a lot of efforts. It is one of the most difficult tasks, right? So not all students want the responsibility for their learning, but given the competing pressure on students' time in a digital age. Now here we will just try to explore what are the possibilities, that is how we can make ICT for making an effective assessment strategy, right? Now, before I proceed, that is, I'll next slide onwards, we will have some discussion on certain tools. But I would like to know your opinion when it comes to assessment. What do you feel? What should be the strategy as a teacher one must adopt when it comes to setting a question paper in general? Anybody like to कोई बोलना चाहेंगे आप में से? क्या लगता है आपको? एक 80 मार्क का आपको पेपर सेट करना है, या आजकल तो कैसा हो गया है कि 40 60 और 40 होता है. एंड सेमेस्टर एग्जामिनेशन इज ऑफ ओनली 60 मार्क्स. So let's say 60 marks paper, 6 units are there. What should be your strategy? Yeah, again, you may have, there is nothing right or wrong. Okay. We may have, whatever you are saying is right or wrong, right? But ideally, what should be there? Any one of you?
Sir, in any subject, right now we are preparing the questions on units.
Yes, sir.
Instead of preparing the questions on units, we need to prepare the questions on these learning domains, actually.
Great.
Whether the student has understood the subject, and in the final stage, whether student can create or synthesize any kind of knowledge. So the
Yes.
question and its marks will be based on the Bloom's taxonomy. So as if the student can answer the questions
Great.
which are related to the final stage of the understanding,
Yes, sir.
it will be having the highest marks. And those students who will qualify minimum in those questions, they'll be getting greater marks.
Great, sir. So I think Khedkar sir has rightly pointed out, right? He has is 100% correct. That should be the strategy, as a matter of fact. But let's say if my intention was to work on a very, you can say, broader perspective. Let's say 60 marks I have intentionally said, right? So in general, the strategy has to be that an average student should get through in the examination as a teacher, right? And this is in general I am talking, right? Dinesh Khedkar sir has taken it little further on Bloom's and all those aspects. But a general framework strategy has to be, see, as a teacher, as I said, that is, I have put in, so from day one itself, when I was student, I used to realize when I used to appear in the examination most of the time कि भाई ये particular सर के पेपर में आप पास तो हो जाओगे लेकिन स्कोर करना डिफिकल्ट है. Right? So if you want to excel in a particular examination, in a very broader perspective, I am saying, so a strategy should be something like wherein you must have a very good mix of all those, as Khedkar sir has pointed out, all those very good mix of all the levels of that Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, so setting a question paper, I am telling you, it is not a 30 minutes or a 45 minutes job. Okay, if you take that particular thing very seriously, it may require, I think, days together. Maybe 8 hours sitting is again not enough most of the time, right? Because you need to focus on each and every word, keywords. Right. If you change the keyword, the perspective will change, the answer will change, and those things will happen. So we have to use it very cautiously, right? Very cautiously. Now we'll move ahead with, you can say, our today's deliberation, which is basically on technology-enabled assessment, right? Or T in short. It's not tea time, but we will have some discussion on tea, right? So what is it? It is it encompasses use of computers, particularly ICT, for testing the students, maybe objectively or subjectively. Now earlier there were tools wherein only objective testing was possible, right? जहाँ पे आप सिर्फ MCQ रख सकते थे, लेकिन अभी सब्जेक्टिव के लिए भी आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Even ICT based tools, you have options for preparing subjective assessment as well. Okay, that is again very much possible in today's scenario. Okay, there are nowadays even AI enabled tools are there, okay, which can even set the question paper for you. But again, a sort of moderation is required. So I will not recommend you to take technology to that extent wherein you specify the topic and AI assisted questions will be generated, right? But those facilities are again there. I will demonstrate you in the session itself, right? Leave apart all those things. There are other types of statement wherein you have diagnostic assessment, summative assessment. ठीक है, तो summative normally at the end of the semester. Diagnostic, you if you intend to find out where the student, what kind of problems, just like we approach doctors. Okay, so he may be very good in level 1 and 2, but he may be struggling in level 3. Okay, and you cannot go for level 4 because the level prerequisite for level 4 is level 3. So where does that particular student stands? Okay, what is the problem? So you may use for some diagnostic test as well. Okay, there are very many. Okay, but this is another type of assessment. Normally it is not there. And again, at the end, you have an integrity assessment. Okay, integrity assessment, that is a complete you can say the wherein the model answer and all those things or sorts of things are there. Okay, now to make the long story short, okay, let us try to see that is how we can use various types of tools for assessment. So as I said, that is having said all those types of assessment, diagnostic assessment, formative assessment, summative assessment, there are again a number of tools in each category. And some of the tools you may be using in your day-to-day life. Okay, particularly the autonomous institution like your institution. But we'll just try to have a look at maybe few of them, wherein, as you can see, for diagnostic purpose, I have listed out hot potatoes. Formative assessment, again, hot potatoes is there. Okay, and so on and so forth. So hot potatoes, again, summative assessment, it is there. So we will explore hot potatoes in a greater detail. I will demonstrate you that is how to create exercises using hot potatoes. Then Google form, all of you are using. Okay, answer garden, we'll have a look at, and so on and so forth. Right. So before moving ahead, this is the last but one topic which I felt that is important to deliberate on, is the SAMR model. So what is SAMR model? Actually, there is a criteria and it was proposed by Dr. Ruben. Okay, and this each word of this SAMR stands for one particular thing. Okay, so if your tool, whatever tool you are using, okay, if it satisfies that criteria, let's say substitution, student can fill out the forms online instead of using paper and pen. Okay, and let us apply this onto Google Form itself. Okay, so you can very well see that this facility is there in Google Form, right? So criteria number 1 is satisfied. Augmentation, teacher can curate the students' responses on the spreadsheet automatically. Again, that is there in Google Form. Okay. Third criteria is modification. Teachers and student can collaboratively analyze, contrast, and compare results immediately after individuals fill out the forms. Again, that is there in Google Form. Redefinitions. Teachers can reach unlimited learners all around the world and can share the results with them. Again, it is there in Google Form. So, since Google Form satisfies this SAMR criteria, you can very well conclude that it is a standard tool, right? The other tools which we are going to look at, I will not talk on Google Forms and so on. I'll talk on the tools like say hot potatoes, Socrative, and maybe one more, let's say if Net Logo, if time permits, and Answer Garden. These 3-4 tools we'll touch upon in a live environment, right? So let us begin with the very first one, hot potatoes. Just before moving ahead, okay, let me tell you that this particular tool is a freeware. That is, you need not have to pay any single pipe for using this particular tool. right? It is completely free. I am not claiming that it is open source, it is free, right? So it is completely free and it is a bundle of tools. Each utility is capable of, you can say, performing or setting one particular type of question. Say, for example, J quiz. Okay, it is for creating a quiz. J close for fill in the blanks. J cross for the crossword puzzle. J match for match the following sort of exercise. And J mix can be used for jumbled sentence exercise, where you can uh, give n number of students statements to the student, ask them to assemble in the appropriate order. And the sixth one is basically a masher. Okay, J masher, which one can use for creating whatever exercises you have created using above 5 hot potatoes, maybe starting from J quiz to J mix, into a single unit. Okay, so you can build it as a one unit and then you can share it with the students, right? So this is about hot potatoes, the brief, you can say, the introduction. We will just try to work it on in a live mode. I'll share my screen and these are some of the screenshots. Okay, but I'll demonstrate you here in the session itself. Okay, as I was talking about, it is a quiz made with the J quiz. Okay, this is the fill in the blank sort of exercise which you can use, you can create with the help of these hot potatoes. Crossword kind of exercise which you can create with the help of J cross. Okay, and match the following sort of exercise with J match. Okay, and J mix with the jumbled sentence exercise. These are the screenshot, but I will demonstrate here in the class. Right. To sum up, that is, we'll go for the live demo. Okay, but to sum up, these are the two takeaways, key takeaways. Okay, you have to move little bit on the higher levels. Okay, knowledge normally 1, 2, 3. Most of us we work on all those things, but how let's say if you go for maybe 5, 6, and 7, that is one of the mantra as far as this session is concerned. Okay, so I will take some theoretical questions if you have any, and then I'll go for the demonstrations. So, any one of you, if you have anything, because I need to share my entire screen. So again, I'll go for sharing the screen. Any one of you have worked basically on hot potatoes? Or any one of you, whether you have worked on hot potatoes?
No, sir.
Acha, no issue. No issue. We'll just try to work it on. Those who are logged in, I know today is Sunday. I am spoiling your Sunday. Okay. And as no other resource person was available, I am there to engage your session. Right. So bear with me for another maybe 20-25 minutes. Okay. Let's say you don't know anything about hot potatoes. What you need to do is simply Google it. Okay. Hot potatoes download. 7 is the latest version. Okay, the very first link, if you click on, I hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So hot potato 7 is the, you can say, the latest version. And go to simply this download section. Okay, you will find hot potato 7.0 installer. Okay, I have installed it on my machine. Otherwise, what you need to do is simply click on this. All of you are well acquainted with this, right? So you can download it and then simply open that file, go for next, okay, and simply install it on your machine. Okay, once you install it, okay, you will find your program, okay, hot potato 7. Okay, now I am simply running that application. So as I said, it is a freeware. Nowhere it is asking for your card details or any sort of, you can say, the demo or limited version or beta version, nothing like that. Once you run that particular thing, this is the screen which will come up. Okay, this screen will come up. All right. Now, as you can see here, that is these are the utilities I was talking about when I talked on this hot potatoes. That is J close, J quiz, J cross, J mix, J match, right? So these are the 5 utilities. Each one has got some function to perform. Okay, we'll see some of them. Okay, depending upon the time. and this is the masher. Okay, the sixth one is the masher. So masher can be used for creating it as a one unit. Okay, if you want to, you have created 3 exercises using JClose, JQuiz, and JCross, and you want to build it as a one single unit, and you want to share it with the your student community, you can very well do that. So JMasher is used for building the one single unit. Okay, I will demonstrate it. Okay, let us begin with the JCross. Okay, I'm simply clicking on JCross. Moment you invoke JCross, this screen will appear. Okay, now here the very first thing you need to do is you need to save with some name. Okay, so let's try to overwrite the already exercise which I have created, crossword exercise. Okay, I'm overwriting it. Okay, and then you need to go. You may ask me to repeat. Okay, you feel like a particular step needs to be repeated, but it is pretty simple and pretty handy. Okay, you need not worry. Go to manage grid. I have saved that particular file. The very first thing what I did is I saved that file as a crossword exercise.jcw. Okay. Now I'm going to this manage grid, wherein if you can see, the very first option is automatic grid maker. Click on that. Okay. Once you click on that, then you can go ahead with what should I say? You want to create a crossword. Okay. So simply you need to type the keyword. The only thing you need to remember is one keyword per line. That is, let's say the first keyword I am keying in as sister. Hit enter key. Okay. Maybe let's keyword next keyword as tour. The third one maybe let's say UK and so on. Okay, you may have n number of keywords this manner, right? So sister tour UK, these are the 3 keywords which I have kept for the sake of example. Okay, maximum grid size I can define here, but I'll simply click on make the grid. Okay, directly. Okay, simply click on make the grid. Okay, so this is how the grid will be created for you. Okay, this is the grid. For simplicity, I am putting it only 3 or 4. Again, there are lot many possibilities here. The idea is to simply expose you. Later on, you can work on your own and you can come up with your, you can say the detailed exercise and so on. Here I can give the title. Okay, and whenever you go for a crossword sort of exercise, okay, you need to add certain clues. Okay, so if you click on this key type symbol, wherein add clues is the tab. Okay, click on add clues, and one by one simply add. Let's say I have clicked on sister. I will add the clue as female sibling. Okay, click on OK. Let's click on UK, European country. Okay, and the third one is let's say tour. Okay, let us call it as a trip. Click on OK. Then click on OK. All done. Okay, we have saved it. Okay, now let's move further. This is your help. Okay, don't go to help, directly go to the configuration screen. Okay, you can configure your output. If you do not, it will take the default color layout. But there are very many things which you can do in the configuration menu. I'll demonstrate few of them, right? You can very well set the timer. Let's say this is for only 3 keywords are there. Let us set the timer to 3. Okay, and here whatever you wish to put, your time is over, or whatever text you wish that it should appear at the end of the examination, that you can put here. Click on OK. Okay. Then again, the other things you can do is this timer we have set. Let us click on appearance. Okay, another tab is appearance. There are many. Okay, even buttons, prompt, feedback, all those things can be done, but I'm demonstrating only few functionalities. Okay, so appearance, and then go to maybe the background color if you wish to change. Okay, you can click on that, or maybe say some combination. So this way you can set the color of everything, whatever has been listed out on this right hand side, right? That is the navigation bar. page background color, title color, exercise link color, and so on. Okay, click on OK. Okay. Now this is all done. You have configured it. You have key in all the keywords along with the clues. Now let us try to launch it. Okay. So if you can see here, it's 7 symbol sort of thing is there. If you simply drag the mouse over there, you will find the tooltip as, okay. Again, okay. Again, I have saved it. Let's say if you forgot to save in the beginning, it will ask you at this point of time. Okay, doesn't matter. Again, I have saved it. And then after saving, okay, you will find that this dialog box will appear. So wherein you are prompted with what you would like to do, view the exercise in my browser. Okay, simply click on this. Your exercise will appear like this. Now, this is what the timer which we have set. Okay, okay. So click on 1. Okay, if you can see here the left hand side, the female sibling clue is appearing. Here I can type the correct answer. Okay, sister, and hit enter key. Okay, click on 2. Again the trip is there. So TOUR, tour. Hit enter key. And if you click on this 3, okay, you can very well put the answer. And now you can check the answers whether your score is 100% or not. Right. So if you put some wrong answer, definitely it will give you that much percentage and so on. So this is with regard to crossword, right? And as you can see here, the timer is going up to 22 and so on. The examination will be over after the expiry of 3 minutes, and you will be thrown out of the paper, right? It will automatically goes down. It will say your time is over, and it will come out. Right. So this is one small exercise which I feel that with the help of crossword you can very well create. On the parallel line, you can create a quiz using this J quiz. Right. Yeah. So there we are. Let us try to create a quiz. Okay. Now, if you look at the quiz, okay, you will find that there are various possibilities here. What I did, I have simply invoked quiz. Okay. Now you can set multiple choice, short answer, hybrid, or even multi-select options. Okay. These are the various possibilities. Right. But if you ask me, I'll demonstrate you, or otherwise you can do it on your own. Let us try to build some exercise. Okay. Exercise 1. Okay. And 1 or 2 question. Okay. Let us go ahead with randomly I'm putting up certain things. Let's say 1995 is the correct answer. So you can click on this tab to mark that this is the correct answer. Okay. And this way, theoretically speaking, you can set exercises having n number of questions. There is no limit as such. Right? There is no limit. 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, right? Sky is the limit. Right. Then short answer again, you can go ahead. Okay. This is question number 1. Question number 2, you may have short answer or whatever you feel appropriate, or maybe hybrid, or maybe multi-select, and so on. So I'll not go into the details of those things, but let us try to build it. Okay, before building, let's say if you do not save it, it will ask you to save the exercise. Okay, J quiz exec 1. Okay, save it. Okay, now I've saved it. Once again, go to this build exercise. Again, it will ask you to save. If you forgot to save, let's say, and you will be prompted with this usual prompt. Now, this is since this we have not set the timer, we have not changed the color layout. Okay, this is the default layout of the hot potatoes. Right. Now, let us try to answer this 1995. Okay, and so on. So I hope the things are pretty simple. I don't think that further demonstration is needed. But you can, on the parallel line, you can go ahead with J close or J match. Okay, if you feel like, I can demonstrate few more. But otherwise, what I feel is the next thing you can do is, I intend to demonstrate you is the, let's say, the masher. ठीक है ना? तो मैच दी फॉलोइंग में भी इसी तरह से आप कर सकते हैं. आई विल नॉट गो इनटू द डिटेल्स, आई विल नॉट बिल्ड इट, बट इफ यू इन्वोक जे मैच, दिस इज द एक्सरसाइज. लेट्स से नागपुर, अमरावती, okay, and maybe let's say Kolhapur, and so on. So you can have on the right hand side the correct answer. Nagpur is famous for, let's say, oranges. Okay, Amravati is for cotton, Kolhapur for, let's say, leather industry, and so on. Give some title. Okay. Exercise. All right. So again, you can do all those things, whatever I have told you, or you can build it. Similar manner. Okay. So this quiz is coming up. Okay, wherein you can pick up the correct answer. So sorry, match the following sort of thing. Okay. And the third one is right. Now let us look at the last part of it. Is the, what is it? It is the masher. Masher, if you click on J masher, okay, you will be prompted with this screen. Okay, यहाँ पे आपको करना क्या है? You need to simply add the files which you intend to create as a one unit. Okay, नहीं? So for example, let us try to randomly pick up these 2-3 files. For the sake of example, open it. Okay. And you can say OK to all. Okay. And there is a, at the bottom, if you can see, there is a button called build unit. Okay. So it is building all those exercises as a one single unit, which you can share with the student community. Then it is asking you, would you like to view the unit now? Simply click on yes. Okay. So since randomly I picked it up, okay, it is appearing like this. Okay. Otherwise, all those titles, whatever you have given, okay, those things will appear here and you can attempt one by one. Okay. So this is the masher. I hope hot potato, enough discussion we have carried out. Okay. If there are any question with regard to hot potatoes, otherwise I'll go ahead with the next tool.
No questions, sir.
Thank you, Shelly. So let
So
us go ahead with,
once
yes.
make it clear that how we can share it with the students.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was expecting this question, right? So what you need to do is basically it is all the HTML files are being created, sir. You can see the results here, right? These are all HTML files, right? So these HTML files, you can put it on your Google Classroom and you can share it with the student community. So on Google Classroom, because or otherwise you can run this on your local server. Okay, if you wish to conduct in a closed door kind of environment. So on your local server, you can keep these files and you can share it with the you can say the student community. So these are the two options, right? So you can go for a proctored kind of test wherein it can be shared with your within your local host. Okay, it can be shared with those 40 number of students who are present in the classroom, or you can create it as a link and you can share it on the Google Classroom. In that case, you need to put this stuff on your Google Drive, I should say. Right. I hope I have answered, sir. Right. So these are
Yes,
the
sir.
two
Yes, sir.
possibilities. Yeah, these are the two possibilities. Now, the another tool, this is a freeware. Okay, that's why I've demonstrated it in the beginning. Now, there is one more tool. What they call it as is Socrative. So this is an online tool. In this case, actually, why I'm showing it later on, the idea is because it is a paid tool, right? Beta version you can very well use, just like ChatGPT 3 you can use. ChatGPT 4 you have to पैसे थोड़े से खर्च करने पड़ेंगे, right? But this is equally important and very powerful tool wherein you need not have to go for a Google Classroom or those sort of thing, right? So Socrative, if you Google it, you will find that there are two login. Moment you go to this socrative.com, again it is very powerful. Okay, teacher sign up and student login. So for teacher, as a matter of fact, you need to fill the, you can say the registration form, sign it with your any social media ID or Gmail ID or whatever. For student, actually, they need not have to register it. Okay, they can directly use it. So you need to share the, you can say your classroom code or Socrative code with the student community and they can directly join. So this is very powerful tool. I'll just demonstrate you some of the functionalities. Again, my you can say the free trial has expired, right? But we'll just try to dig it in little bit detail. Okay. So this Socrative, I'll try with some different browser wherein I think I have already logged in. ठीक है, तो इसमें जाते हैं अपन go to Chrome. So let us go to this teachers login. Okay, so this is what I have already created. Okay, or otherwise you need to sign in with your Gmail ID as I have told you. Okay, now this is teacher login basically. All right, so this is the code I was talking about. That is Atik 6972 is the code. Okay, now it is prompting me. It is asking me to upgrade my, because my free trials are almost done. Okay, I used to conduct sessions. Okay, so that is almost done. But we'll just have a look at what can be done in this case. So you can go for a Get Pro. The Pro version is paid version. Okay, there is some price for it. Okay, and these are the various functionalities you can have under Socrative in an online mode, wherein you can go for multiple choice questions, true and false sort of questions, short answer type questions, quiz, and whatnot, right? And there is a live result kind of environment. Let's say if some of you are logged in and you wish to appear for this particular test, so you can go to you can say Google, wherein simply type Socrative student login. Okay, type this particular code. It will ask you to enter a code wherein you are supposed to type this ATIQUE 6972 in capital. Okay, you will be taken up to this particular exercise. So this is the live, you can say the results which are coming up. Okay, so I can launch any test from this. Okay, I can launch the quiz. I can launch anything. Okay, so you can add another room. So you can create a number of rooms this way. Okay, और you can finish the activity and so on. ठीक है, तो ये जो मैंने टेस्ट लिए थे, इसकी जो मैं बता रहा था आपको कि भाई इसमें AI फंक्शनलिटी भी है ना? तो जैसे ये NEP का जो क्विज मैंने क्रिएट किया है, So again, that quiz can be, you can very well set it in the way in which you wish to conduct. For example, if you look at this, you can even, if you feel that the student should enter their name, or if you feel that they should not enter their name, they should enter their roll number only. So that can be done here, right? Shuffle question, you can shuffle the question. That is, same set of question will appear to different student in different order. You can shuffle the answer. Okay, that is simply available on your, you can say, click. Okay, you can shuffle the answer. Even if the question will remain same, but the answer they will not be able to exchange with themselves, right? And then you can observe the final score and so on, right? So one attempt pro is that is the last thing which is there. Okay, it is asking me for upgradation all the time because I have exceeded my free attempt. Okay, so the problem with this is it is a paid version, right? You need to pay for it. The amount is not very huge, but still some money needs to be paid for getting the functionality. Now let us try to, this is my teacher login. Let us try to, you can say, the go for the student login. Student login, it will look like this, as I was talking about. That is, here you are supposed to enter the code and you can join the, okay. Now, since I have not launched any activity, my free trials are over. It is waiting for the next activity to begin. Otherwise, that quiz will appear, or whatever questions are there, it will appear here. Okay. So, being a teacher, you need to launch it. You can stop it. You can schedule it. Okay, maybe for 1 hour, for a specific date and time, and so on. Okay. So this is the another tool. Okay, Soccerativo is the another tool which is equally powerful, just like hot potatoes. The only thing is that here you have to pay for it. That is for the pro version. Demo version, you can very well use it up to some limited attempt. But if you want to use as a pro version, you have to pay for it. The another tool which is important is net logo, right? To your surprise, all these you can say, if you look at the URL of this net logo, okay, it is an academic website. So this is how the you can say the university is working in developed nation, they work. This is nothing but the project. Okay, and over a period of time, it has grown up as a full-fledged tool. Okay, so net logo is again free and open source tool which you can use for demonstrating certain you can say the difficult concept. Okay, with the help of certain you can say the models which are available. So this I will demonstrate. You can go to library. Okay, under library, you can go for again various subjects are there. Now, if you look at this, this is the sample models of various arts. Sample models are there. Biology sample models are there. Okay, chemistry and so on. Let us go to computer science. Okay, or one typical problem. Those who are, I don't know whether somebody is from computer science is there. Yeah. So let's say you want to explain that is how the neural network training takes place. You can click on this. Okay. Artificial neural network multi-layer. For simplicity, I'm taking this. That is, it talks about everything about with regard to this particular model. And the beauty of this tool is you can download the source code. Okay, source code भी आपको कहीं तो भी last में मिल जाएगा. Okay, so you can download it, you can modify it in your own way, or you can try running it in a net logo web, that is in online mode. Let us try to run it in online mode. I am running that model. ठीक है, आप मेरे ख्याल से देख पा रहे हैं. ठीक है, so you can go to this setup. Okay, and then go to this train. It will show you exactly how the weights are basically normalized. Okay, when you deliver in the classroom environment, many times you can say this is for XOR function, target function. Okay, how the training is taking place. So with the help of this, you can say free and open source tool, you can very well explain to the student that is how it works, right? So this is a simulation tool, and you can explore this. As you can see here, that is the command center is there. Then net logo code I was talking about, the entire code is available here. Okay, and the model info is available here, right? What is it that is starting from scratch? That is what is the aim and how it works and so on. This is randomly I'm picking up, but you can set certain beautiful experiments with the help of this particular tool once again, right? So I think I have almost done. One more tool is left, but I'll leave it to you. That is one tool with regard to this is the answer garden. So answer garden one can use for you can say gathering the feedback, and that's why I've kept it intentionally at the end, right? Or brainstorming purpose. Okay. तो यहाँ आप देख पा रहे हैं आंसर गार्डन. It is once again a tool. Okay. Now you can create, let's say, answer garden very easily, quite easily, with the help of this particular tool. So what is it? Talks about all those things. Okay, simply click on this plus sign, create an answer garden. Okay, you will be prompted with this. Okay, wherein you can give the title of the answer garden you wish to create. Okay. Now, this tool, even though this, as I said, that is, it can be used for two different purposes. One is for gathering the feedback, another maybe brainstorming on a particular topic. Okay. So you have various modes of this: brainstorm, classroom, moderator, and locked. ठीक है. और इसमें जो the answers these two the participant can give is there is a restricted limit, that is either 20 or 40 characters. Okay, 20 or 40 characters. So you can set as per your own requirement. Then you can set the admin password as well, your email ID and so on. Okay, you can even make it case sensitive. Okay, and then simply you can click on this create. Okay, so let's say if you are on the machines, okay, you can in your address tab, you can type this answergarden.ch/4377248. This is the number you need to share with the student as well as the participant, so that the moment they click on this, they will find this sort of screen wherein they can come up with their responses. Like, say, as far as the feedback of this session is concerned, you may say, okay, right? So that okay will appear here, right? That okay will appear here. Okay, and it will be populated. Again, there are very many things which you can do, but I don't think that, see, if you look at this, that is, you can refresh it, you can expand it, even you can share the QR code with the student community or the participant, so that by simply scanning the QR code, they can fill their responses, right? So with this, I think on dot 2 o'clock, we have finished our session. Okay, thank you very much for a patience hearing. If there are any queries, I'll be happy to answer. Hello. I don't know how many of you are with me. Yes, around 71.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this is all from my end. Yes, sir. If there are any queries, I'll be happy to. Anybody who wish to? Chale.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please.
Yes, sir. Any tools specifically
Sorry, sir. Your
accounting
voice is
and
breaking.
finance
Any tool specifically for
accounting and finance,
my
where we can use some practical work like that?
That is not my area, sir, but I am sure
Oh,
that definitely there will be some tool. I can explore it and get back to you, maybe, if you allow me,
yeah,
because I am
yeah,
not
sure,
aware.
sure.
I am not aware,
Okay,
sir. Yeah.
okay.
You are
Thank
from
you,
commerce,
sir.
commerce background.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Especially my subject is accounting and finance.
Great.
So in that, I need some practical work if we can do in that, or we can show to the students. Then it is more beneficial.
Sir, Excel में मेरे ख्याल से Excel itself is a tool, I'm really sorry that I'm not aware about your discipline, but I'll let you know. Okay, if you give me some time.
No issue. Thank you. Thank you.
working with the accounting is different, and teaching accounting is different, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you are teaching accounting, then these models can be very useful to communicate your concepts
Okay.
to the
Yes,
students.
sir.
No, you are right, sir. You are right, sir. So all done from my end. I once again thank you all for sparing your valuable time, that too on Sunday. But
Thank you, sir.
there were some issues with regard to the organization. That's why we troubled you. I once again thank you all for the patience hearing. And
Thank you, sir.
yeah, bye
Thank
bye
you, sir.
from my
Thank you.
end.
And with the
Thank
kind consent of Professor Atik, sir, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. And participants, I will once again request those who have not appear for the assessment quiz, they should appear for the assessment quiz